Hi guys, good morning from beautiful shorelines of Aegean region. This is Aegean Lifestyle Stories. Welcome back to my channel. Yesterday I was watching YouTube and I honestly forgot about Santorini earthquakes and volcanic news and things like that. But suddenly I started getting some pop-ups, some videos about Santorini again, and I said, uh, something is happening, or am I missing something? I checked some other sources, and look like nothing is happening actually, as far as I understand, and looks like some people are still trying to create some hype, I guess. So what I decided to do is to write a small program and download some real earthquake data from different regions in this area and come up with some real results with some real data. And I'm going to share you with you guys what I found out, and you'll like it. And it's a good way of looking the same data from different angles so that you can understand better what's going on. Okay, in terms of tectonics, we are right at the middle of three big continents colliding to each other. We have African plate, which is south, at the south. We have Asian plate, which is on the north. And we have also Arabian plate, which is pushing us from the south east part of the Turkey. So we are kind of like three big container ships are colliding to each other. We are just right at the middle of this collision on a small boat. This is exactly how this area works. So we have three continents, but Africa is actually trying to get under us, colliding. And we have subduction zone in Crete island. So the Asia and Arabian plate, whereas different than Africa, they're actually face to face colliding with the Aegean plate, which is relatively small compared to those big guys. So this area is no place to escape. So we have all these continents colliding to each other, and we are right at the middle. And that's why we have a lot of earthquakes, and that's why we have a lot of mountains and valleys, and volcanic activity is also related to the African plate. So we are at the center of the action, actually, in terms of tectonics. But there's nothing to worry about. We'll go back to my house and I'm going to show you on my notebook the real data, the real earthquake data, and we're going to draw some charts and try to see the data from different angles so that we can make up some results with you guys. Okay, let's go. Okay, guys, we're back home and we're going to start seeing some real data. Let's see how we come up with. Okay, first, actually, we're going to start looking at one of the active area, which is north of Samos Island. This is Samos Island. And as you can see, this is during some active periods. These are all the earthquake centers you see. Green ones is lower, blue is higher, red, yellow is higher, and red is highest, and things like that. So this is the scale here. And this map actually shows in different weeks how the earthquake centers were changing. As you can see, there's not much actually. There's nothing regular. You don't see any pattern. So I guess it's just another day in this area. If you go down, okay, as you can see here, as the timeline goes, this extraction and y is magnitude. As you can see, we have a lot of earthquakes, and during some periods we have higher earthquakes, but it's almost during that active period, we have earthquakes all over the place. An average magnitude is not much, 2.53 or something like that. And as we see this graph, number of earthquakes, we have a lot of earthquakes, and then during some period it started to increase and then started to decrease. So nothing special actually. It's the regular pattern of earthquakes around here. Magnitude distribution is mostly 2 and 3. That's not a big problem too. And here we have the depth with magnitude. As you can see, it's almost 10 kilometers, up to 10, maybe not 20, 10, 15 kilometers. This is the range, maximum range you can come up with this earthquakes here. It's because of the fault zone we have here. So it's just cracking and moving along the fault line. So it's around, it looks like 10 to 15 kilometers depth that's the reason. And as you can see, depth is not changing much. It's about 8 to 10. We don't see any change, depth trend change over time. And at the bottom, we have magnitudes versus time versus depth, and it's not much. This is actually to show you that how this area, Aegean crust faults, actually works in general. This is the first place. This is, as I said, Samos. It's north of the Samos, as you can see, and also south part also got a lot of earthquakes. Let's move on to second one. This one is from Crete Island. This is the island, as I said before, where we have here, this is African plate, and going under the Aegean plate, and this is the boundary actually here. Crete Island is right on the edge. So we got a lot of earthquakes at the south part, And as you can see, it's just a good pattern. It's just randomly happening. But here, maybe as you can see, it's the magnitude is not average magnitude. Weekly is not changing much, but from time to time, as we saw before, it increases and then starts decreasing again. It's the same pattern. Two, three, and some fours. But here, the different than other region we just saw was the depth is higher here because we are right on the edge of the subduction zone. African plate is getting under us, so it's going down. So that's why we had a lot of different depths and really 90, 70, 80. So this is the reason, this is the pattern that you're going to be getting on the subduction zones. And depth trend, sometimes if it's just picking at some point, it's not changing. It's we can say it's regular. And as you can see, even though the depth is higher, we got a lot of earthquakes, and it's just a little bit higher compared to other regular sites. We got higher magnitude earthquakes because we have really the subduction zone actually has some really magnitude is we have big depths here too. Okay, the third one. This is another time, 2020, 2020. This is also from Samos Island, but I'm showing this island because this island in round was active actually in recent years. So for you to see easily the general pattern, it's a good point, I guess. We're going to talk about this timeline last. Let's move on. Weekly average is not something. The number of earthquakes, we will talk that later also. But two, three, and some little fours. But as you can see, it's less than 20 kilometers depth. It's almost average 10, 15, something. So it's just not very depth, deep earthquakes, shallow when you compare to Crete. Let's move up here and see what this thing is. This is 7. 7 magnitude was the earthquake that actually killed some people in Izmir, old city Smyrna. And I guess the thing that we have to understand here, the killer earthquakes never say, I'm coming. We were checking these earthquakes, checking these guys. We were having regular and continually, maybe changing a little bit, sometimes picking speed and things like that, but never. It's a good sign of having a lot of earthquakes continuously because the stress is relieving, and you're going to be good. But if there's a big earthquake is coming, it's not saying I'm coming. It just happens. It breaks, and then, as you can see, you got a lot of small earthquakes, and it just comes down to zero again. So this is the pattern for the killer earthquakes. Let's check some other killer earthquakes. In 2023, southeast of Turkey, there was an earthquake and killed a lot of people, a lot of damage there. As if I'm not mistaken, about 200 billion dollars worth of damage actually done during this earthquake. And as I said before, this is Arabian plate, and this is, let's say, this Aegean plus Aegean minor crust plate, small plates. So this Arabian plate is actually pushing us toward north, and that's why we are getting this fault zone here along this line. And this one was a killer earthquake, and look at this. This is the killer one, and it didn't say anything, I'm coming. And then as the big one happened, it just calms down and then goes away. As And also the depth is not much because it's not some volcanic or subduction zone related area, so it's just a fault zone. But this fault zone, this earthquake, 7.8, sometimes it's said it's 7.9, actually it's killer. You're not going to be able to survive this earthquake if you caught up in that area in a badly built building. It's no way. Yeah, it did a lot of damage, and it didn't say, "Hey, I'm coming. Get ready." We don't see that pattern. Okay, I'm going to show you one more earthquake which killed 50,000 people, and then we'll move on to Santorini. Okay, in 1999, very close to Istanbul, this is Istanbul, and in this area, this is the actually fault zone going through here. The north part is Asian plate, and south part is Asia Minor and Aegean plates combined together, small plates. So this earthquake happened here. It was 7.9 again, and as you can see, it didn't tell, "Hey, I'm coming." But look, I got this data from a station which is located in Istanbul, which is one of the oldest observatory, earthquake observatory stations in Istanbul, Kandilli, and it didn't. They didn't have a chance to record that earthquake. Actually, guys, the only earthquake they started getting was the next day around 9 p.m. because this earthquake killed 50,000 people and a lot of damage in Istanbul. And most probably because, as far as I know, all the electricity, water, gas, everything went off, and since nobody was ready, and also earthquake didn't say, "Hey, I'm coming, get ready." That's why I guess, and I think they were unable to record that earthquake. I got this data from their station. I checked with other stations around, and they got 7.9, no problem. We know that number, but I got this number from this station. They were unable. This is missing time here. 1 day is missing. They don't have this 7.9 record, and also the next point they started recording was the next day around 9 p.m. They started again. Most probably they got some generators and things like that, and they start recording. Okay, let's move on to another area which is currently active in earthquakes, Italy. And as you can see, this is mostly volcanic activity zone, and it's just another day in Italy. I guess it's just a regular earthquake. Sometimes pushing hard, sometimes slowing, sometimes pushing hard, and things like that. But as you can see, it's just going up sometimes, slowing down, going up, slowing down, and it's just a regular volcanic activity zones. And here, as a volcanic activity zones, you have really big numbers in depth. You have earthquakes close to 200, 300 kilometers in depth. So this is how you see a typical volcanic zone. And of course, you could have volcanic activities. It's not, you're not going to be able to just by looking at this data, okay, at the peak it's going to blow or something like that. We can't say that because magma is pushing, and on the pit, on the path, probably it's going to create a lot of cracks and earthquakes. So this is how you get earthquakes in these areas in volcanic zones. Okay, last, check Santorini. This is Santorini, all the earthquakes we got. The green ones lower, blue ones higher, yellow is higher, and red is higher, and we don't see others, but this is the scale. So as you can see, the higher magnitude earthquakes are actually lined up through this zone. This is absolutely, it's just saying I am tectonic, I am just cracking. And this actually shows week by week how the epicenters are moving. As you can see, it's just actually moving, the crack is just moving toward northeast, I guess, toward Turkey. So it's just a crack, it's just cracking continuously and moving, most probably. That's why we get a lot of earthquakes. And as you can see, we had some up and downs, but as you can see, in general, it's just dying out. And also, as you remember, we have 10 to 20 kilometers in depth, typical fault zone earthquakes. There's nothing actually different than other places around here. I made a small animation that I'm going to show you. This is my Aegean Sea. These are the islands, sort of. And this is the crack. And it's this is what is happening actually. This is just cracking, and then it's just dying and dying and dying, and now it's completely done and stopped. That's it. Okay, I guess this should wrap up the Santorini. We are done with the Santorini, I guess. If I were you guys, it should be really cheap right now. If you're planning to visit Aegean region this summer, I would just call my travel agency and book my flight tickets and do my reservations. So there is no problem around here. It's just another day. It's a nice day today also. It's sunny. It's, I guess, it's going to be close to 20. We are in March and we're getting almost 20. So we're done with Santorini. The next video will be in my garden, doing some gardening and having some funs there. So we'll see you guys and stay safe and have a nice day.